Thank you for your trust in box-top fly screens. You will need the following tools to assemble your fixed frame fly screen: a drilling machine, a pencil, a screwdriver, a cutter, a metric band, a pair of scissors, a hammer and a saw. First of all, check the packaging and mainly the contents. So make sure that you have the spline, the mesh, brushes, caution brushes are optional, 4 aluminium profiles, the fitting instruction and the accessory kits. Check the content of the accessory kit as well and make sure that you have 4 plastic corners, 4 plastic brackets and screws and rope plugs. Now take at least 3 reference measurements in width, one at the bottom, one in the center and one at the top of the opening that you wish to cover. Caution, out of the 3 dimensions, note down the smallest one. To know where exactly you have to cut in width, you first have to check the yellow sticker on the packaging. We see that the sticker mentions a total width of 120 cm. We've previously measured 110.2 cm in width, which means that we'll have to cut 9.8 cm in width. You can now mark 2 profiles at 9.8 cm. Caution, make sure to mark the profiles that match the width. In our example, these are the 2 shortest profiles. And we can cut through both profiles. Now take at least 3 reference measurements in height, one on the left side, one in the middle and one on the right side of the opening that you wish to cover. Caution, out of these 3 dimensions, note down the smallest one. To know where exactly you have to cut in height, you first have to check the yellow sticker on the packaging. We see that the sticker mentions a total height of 150 centimeters. We've previously measured 140 centimeters in height, which means that we'll have to cut 10 centimeters in height. So we can now mark both remaining profiles at 10 centimeters. And we can cut through the profiles. Now assemble the frame by inserting the corners in the profiles. Caution, make sure to mount the frame perfectly squared. Then go on with the insertion of the brushes into the external groove of the profiles. Insert the brush and cut it so that it reaches both ends of the fly screen. We remind you that brushes are available as an option. You will need the following tools to insert the mesh, the spline, a pair of scissors and the mesh insert tool. First of all, display the mesh on the backside of the structure. Take the spline and insert it into the groove of each profile thanks to the plastic insert tool. Caution, make sure that the frame is displayed with 90 degrees angles and shows a perfectly squared shape. In order to assure the best tension of the mesh, we will proceed as follows. First of all, insert the spline right below the first corner. Insert it into the first profile without tensioning the mesh with your hand. When inserting the spline into the following side of the frame, don't tension the mesh with your hand either, and leave the mesh adjust its position on its own. From the third side, tension the mesh with your hand while inserting the spline, and go on tensioning and inserting the spline with the fourth side. This way you will make sure to get the best mesh tension for your fly screen. You can now cut the exceeding mesh. Make sure not to cut the spline, therefore we recommend you cut right over the spline. Before fitting the fly screen, display the brackets in the center of each side of the recess and mark the recess where you will have to drill it. Drill and insert the row plugs. And you can now fix the brackets to the recess thanks to the provided screws. Now you can fit the fly screen into the brackets. Use also the provided handles to manipulate the product. Caution, don't use these handles to remove the product from the recess or to push the product into the recess, but only to hold the fly screen while moving it. Your fly screen is now fitted. Always use a wet cloth to clean your boxed-up fly screen. You can also clean the profiles with alcohol to remove strong stains. Thank you for your trust in boxed-up fly screens.